There's a YouTuber named Joey Salads who made a video that has gotten him into a lot of hot water. And it's a video which he calls a social experiment. This guy has over 1 million subscribers. And in the video, he has himself and a friend. And they want to see how people react differently to what are perceived as Islamic terrorists versus Christian terrorists. So in order to execute this, he has his friend dress in a dish dash and run up and throw a friggin', giant a suitcase at someone and yell Allah Akbar, which is not the right thing to say. It's Allah Akbar or something like that, but it's definitely not what they say. And then see people's reactions, and then has himself run up, yell praise Jesus, throw the same case and see people's reaction. Here's a look of that in practice.
Allah Akbar! Allah Akbar! Praise Jesus.
What the
Praise Jesus.
Immediately after this happened, there was a backlash. People tweeting how stupid he was acting, in their opinion. Yusuf Salah Erekat tweeted, "These are the kind of people that need to be banned from YouTube. YouTube, disgusting." He himself is a famous YouTuber. And then Joey took to YouTube to defend himself in a video that the original video that he posted had 1 million views. His defense has like 51,000 views. So way more people saw the actual video itself versus the ones that saw his justification. But he has not backed down. Thoughts, 5 words or less.
Delete your account.
Better to just talk.
This social experiment bombed.
This is not an experiment.
No.
Experiments are better thought out than this, right? What did you think when you first saw it?
Yeah, well, experiments, there's, the scientific method. I don't know if you guys remember that from school, where you have a hypothesis and you have a procedure and you have your whatever materials you're going to be using. And this is just kind of him and his idiot friend. And they do this a lot. They did this with the transgender bathroom experiment or something, just really dumb stuff. And it's not an experiment. It's just you and your friend being idiots, and you're not even being well-researched idiots, which is why you're idiots. Oh, that just clicked with me. That's why they're stupid. What did you guys think about it?
It was idiotic for one, but sometimes if you have a forum and talk about different things instead of trying to, embarrass one culture and then show, oh, look at the double standards. Like, that's a sensitive situation. And he released a video a day after the Orlando shootings. So it's like, you got to be sensitive to what's going on in the world. You got to be sensitive to other people and other religions. Obviously, he's not. It's Joey Salads, eh?
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's just really dumb at a point, and it's like you try to be this social person. That's not what you're known for. You're a YouTuber. You got over 1 million subscribers on making videos. No one cares about your social experiments. Obviously, they want to know whatever comedy or anything else that you're doing. But obviously, that's just not his wheelhouse to even try to put out there.
Yeah.
No doubt there's Islamophobia in this country, and they had a point, that a good idea, let's do this experiment, see, but the way they went about it was just terrible. And you can see from the way it was edited that absolutely the results are just not conclusive, and they don't mean anything, they don't say anything. In the first video, when people are running from the Muslim guy, it's mainly girls running away, and if a dude runs at me and throws something, I'm gonna run away, Yeah. It doesn't really say anything about him looking like a Muslim, and is that how Muslims look like these days, really? They put on a white sheet and they run around town?
Yeah, I feel like, it's just the two guys. If you want to do an experiment, you have to have controls, things that that are the same
variables,
across. And you have be more precise with it. And the guy dressed as the Islamic terrorist runs up at people and throws it and yells a phrase that we've heard in the in the TV show Homeland and other places, and then runs away. A lot of times when Joey Salads is running by people, it looks like he's on a jog and drops something by accident.
Yeah, and he walks up to dudes that a lot of them were sitting in bus stops. When is the last time you saw a person standing or sitting in a bus stop and they don't have earbuds on? They probably didn't even hear what they said.
Yeah,
it's just like,
and then some of the other guys, they were just running at him like, like what the hell, and like kicking the box away.
Yeah, and I think another thing that bugged me about this, and with Joey Salads in general, is intention.
Yeah.
So you do an experiment like this. Why? What is at the what at the core are you trying to show? What is your point of view? What is your perspective? What is the experience that you're coming from? And he doesn't consider any of that. It's clickbait. He's
Right.
doing it for views. He released it, whether or not he wants to admit it, you're releasing it because you know that that's going to set people off,
Right.
When he did it. And that's what bothers me, is that it's so irresponsible, and his intention behind it is not good. And he can't talk his way out of this anymore. He keeps doing it, and I think people are sick of it, which is why I say delete your account. You're not using it the way that you initially started as a prank channel sort of thing. Now you're just trying to piss people off. You're a troll.
Well, it's like you said with the scientific experiment or method, it's you do have a summary. Like, what was the summary? At the end of the video, he should have came out and said, okay, so we learned from this, a percentage of that, or, back it up with some type of research, which is like you said, obviously he did not. And it just makes him look idiotic at that point.
Yeah, here's the quote from his defense. And yeah, at the end of the video, the first video, he just essentially says, he literally says, why do you think this is like this?
Right.
And that's not a well thought out prompt. He also in his defense says, we live in a reality and in a world where this happens a lot. It happens a lot. It's very unfortunate, but we live in a reality.
What?
We live in a world where this stuff happens a lot. This stuff happens a lot. More than probably ever had in America with these mass shootings.
Is that, can I see that?
Like, that's a direct quote. And you know who that sounds like when he says this stuff? I actually repeated it once. But that stuff where he says this happens like more probably than ever in America's past, he sounds just like Donald Trump.
Yeah.
Those things when you read a magazine article about an interview with Trump and it doesn't sound like a smart person.
Right.
And this is exactly what's dangerous about it, is that the kinds of things that Trump digs into about your worst instincts and the worst things people could possibly think, but then they go, oh, let's look into that and have more thoughts about it. Trump and Joey Salads think that's it. They think that's a destination. He wants to, quote, start a dialogue. That's just lazy.
Yeah.
If you want to start a dialogue, you don't just throw a box at someone.
Right.
You
Create
ask a
forum.
question.
You get people who actually know about these certain situations. You do research. You bring it together and you really create a dialogue. Sometimes you don't just be about it, actually speak about it.
So we talked about what he could have done better. Is there anything, because this is the next stop for anyone who watches a video like this, is to then think, okay, Joey Salads seems to be a genuine, real bad idiot. But is there anything about the dialogue in America about how people perceive folks who are Muslim versus Christians when it comes to where that first instinct in your head is? Is there any good we can take from this discussion from Joey Salads?
No good from that, I believe, because every radical Islamist that you've seen, they dress like us. They're not dressed in their, traditional garb as some, Muslims are. And I feel like it gives a bad look for a lot of Muslims, and it feeds more into the propaganda and the dialogue and the minds of people who think that all Muslims are all terrorists. It feeds to those people.
Yeah.
To us educated people who actually have, a broad mind and have actually traveled to these type of countries.
Yeah, there you go.
Everyone's not dressed like that.
Yeah.
And it just really just puts a stereotype. It's just like, let me do a video. Let me just put on gold chains and run around in the hood and be like, yo, what's up, cuz? How you? It's like, no, that's not how I speak, actually.
That's it, yeah. Joey Salads has gotten his audience by doing one thing, which is like dumb pranks. And now he has this stage. And he feels like this is not a well thought out prompt. It's just something that he feels like probably is important, maybe. And he made this video, and this came up, and he says, yeah, so I just want to start a dialogue. If you watch people like Joey Salads, who are famous for being YouTubers, that does not mean that they have any knowledge about anything else whatsoever. A lot of us see like celebrities who have causes, and there's celebrities who do the research and provide something positive as a result and channel it into a good thing, and others who are just like, I don't know, I just think, and they don't help the causes that they seem to think that they're helping. What do you guys think? Give us your thoughts in the comment section below. Don't forget to subscribe. We'll see you next time on Pop Trigger.